Hello everyone, and welcome back to Airdrie Public Library Virtual Programming. I'm Adam, and today I'm going to show you this very simple engine for making games. In this video and in future videos, we will be learning together some of the basic building blocks of programming, so you can take what you've learned and apply it to the games that you want to make. So to get started here, I'm just on the Scratch website. This is scratch.mit.edu. It's completely free. You don't even have to sign in or anything to be able to use it. And what we're going to be doing today is making one of the very first games that was ever made. This is a game called Pong. You've probably seen it before. It's where you've got the two paddles on either side of the screen and a little ball bouncing back and forth. So I'm going to just close this little tutorial box here, and we're going to get started. So this box over here, this is our kind of screen space, and I can pick up this cat and move him around. But I don't really need this cat right now, so I'm just going to come down here and put him in the garbage. And now I get to pick some of my own sprites that I want to use. This little cat-shaped button down here, I can hover over it and then hit the search. And this will pop up a big list of all the different kinds of sprites that it comes pre-installed with. And I don't need anything too fancy. I can really use anything I want. So maybe I'll take this shark, use a shark as a paddle. And then I also have to find a ball. Instead of going for like a regular ball, maybe we'll go for, let's see, an egg. Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, so we're gonna move my shark, and I can make him smaller by adjusting the size. Let's get him 60 pixels, and then this direction, grab this and make him rotate. I'm going to make him face straight up, and I'm going to actually right click and duplicate him. So now we have two sharks. I'm going to make this guy facing straight down. And just position them on either side of the screen here. I think I'll make up my egg a little bit smaller too. There we go. So now when I hit this green go flag here, this will start playing our game. But we don't actually have any code running yet. I'm going to hit this stop and we'll start to add our code. So the way Scratch kind of works is I can select one of these sprites and then give that sprite specifically code. And to start here, we have all of our code on the left here, and we can quickly scroll through it by selecting one of these tabs. Whenever you start, the start points are always these little tabs with the rounded tops here. You can see how it has a rounded top on the round kind of circle thing on the top here, and then this almost hexagonal indent on the bottom. So when I drag this out to my code field, I can grab something else and it'll just snap right underneath, whereas something won't go on top here. It won't fit. So the event I want to start with is this, when space key is pressed, and this will start giving us some controls. So I'm going to go up arrow. So now when the up arrow key is pressed, it'll run anything that's connected below here. And what we want it to do when the up arrow is pressed, we want it to move. That's right. So I'm going to connect that up, hit my go flag, and then I'm going to start hitting this up arrow. And look at that, it can move up. And right off the screen. So now, let's give it a down arrow, make it go down. And put in our steps. This, as it is right now, will make it go up still. So what's the opposite of 10? Well, it's negative 10. Now when I go up, and when I go down, I go down. Perfect. So I think I'm going to select these. Hold on. We're going to go to our shark 2, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring it to the space key. When space key is pressed, change the keys to up arrow and down arrow. Motion, move 10 steps, move -10 steps. Now these are both controlled by the same thing. And actually this guy's going backwards because he's facing down, so forward is down for him and backwards is up. So we're gonna actually have to swap these around. There we go. Now they're both moving at the same time. For our first shark here again, I think I'm gonna change these controls to W and S. There we go. So now W and S controls left shark, and up and down controls right shark. So that's pretty good. Now we need to get our egg here to start moving. We're going to go into events, and I'm going to pull out this when go flag is clicked. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go to motion. And what we are going to do here is called initialization. So whenever this is clicked, we want it to restart in this position. So we're going to pull out set x2 and set y2. And then we're just going to look here at this x and y coordinates. So it's in x2 and x15, that's where it is right now. And I'm just going to set that to these. Well, it's already there actually. Now, even when I move it over here, I hit go, it'll come right back to the middle. And then we're going to tell it to start moving. But it just moves once. We have to make it keep on doing that forever. So I'm going to scroll down to, I think it is below here somewhere. Control forever. There it is. I'm just going to slot this in right here. So this is called a forever loop. So as it starts doing this code, it'll set x to 2, y to 15, and then whatever's in the forever loop will be looped over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You can see that this forever loop has no bottom here, which means nothing can exist below it, just inside of it. So now what happens when we hit go? It starts sliding off the screen. That's great. But there's something even cooler we can do. If we go back to motion, there's this cool little if on edge bounce. And then we can do this. And you can see it reverses its direction. Maybe we want to stop that and say we want it to start on an angle. I can hit turn 15 degrees when you start. And now it starts bouncing up and down and all over the screen. It's still passing through our sharks here. So we're going to have to create something, or use something called an if statement. Back into our control. Control, we can see this if then. I'm going to just put this underneath there. And here's where things start getting a little complicated. Because we don't have an if on edge bounce for these sharks, we need to create our own. So we have to say if we're touching a shark, then go in the opposite direction. That's our goal here. So I'm going to go into sensing, and you can see that a lot of these have the kind of triangle sides. And those triangle sides will fit right into here. So if touching, you can change this to shark. Then what do we want to do? We want to tell it to go in the opposite direction. So we can go back to motion and say point in direction. Yes, point in direction. I think the 90 degrees is working actually. Let's see. It's just this left shark here that it's working for. Means we want it to also do the same thing for the other shark. We can make another if statement, or we can use an or. Let's go back into operators, and we can see that a lot of these have triangles in them, and this or has 2 of them. So we can say if we are touching the shark, or if we are touching shark 2, and bounce in the opposite direction. And we can see we actually got it a little bit caught there. So I think this is telling it to just point this way, not to actually go in the opposite direction. So we're going to have to do a little bit of math for this. We go into motion. Down here we can see some operators. This X position, this Y position, and this direction are all these things here for our egg. So I can say, take my direction, and then times that by a number. And we're going to times it by -1. A little math trick is any number times -1 is always the negative of that number. So if you have 5 times -1, it equals -5. If you have 10,000 times -1, it equals -10,000. If you have -5 times -1, it equals +5. That's an easy way to get things, to make numbers flip. Or alternatively, we can do it a little simpler. Because there are 360 degrees in a circle, we can just simply add 180 degrees to our direction, and that'll also point it in the opposite direction. All right. Well, that concludes our tutorial for today. I think next time we're going to have it sense if a goal was scored and then reset the game. And also, we need to keep our sharks going off the edge, right? Swimming out into oblivion. All right. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, where we will be finishing our Pong game here. And one last thing before we go, to simply save, we go up to File and hit Save to your computer. And then OK. And there we go. Now that's the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching.